have the mindset that it's never okay for a guy to hit a girl or to defend himself. The problem with that is when the police are never called on her, when he doesn't hit her back, when he just takes it, and he ends up losing his life or something very bad ends up happening to him. Guess what? She's never held accountable for her actions. So she goes through life being an abuser to every man, and she also is the template for her son to enter into a relationship with a woman that's just like her.
Yeah, I think
that's the problem with not holding her accountable. That's the problem with her not being knocked upside her head while she knocked him upside his head, so that she'll stop, so that she'll think twice about doing it. That's why she needs to be locked up and sitting in the cell and thinking about it, and be held to the exact same standards as the man when he's abusing a woman. Because when there are no consequences, there will be no modification of behavior.
I think historically, though, I think it's not just men feeling like we some punks if we call the police. I think historically we just haven't been taken serious when it comes to when we call the police. Usually the police officer will come, and I'm talking about historically. I'm not talking about like maybe now they've changed some things up, but historically it would be like, well, your woman went upside your head with a skillet. What did you do? Like we don't ask those same questions of a woman. Like, you got a black eye. What did you do? You know what I'm saying? So because of that, men haven't been really taken serious when it came to that. So in fact, we didn't even really start talking about domestic abuse as it pertains to men being abused until the last 10 years. Even though it had been happening, there's been women who killed men before, and we watched the TV show Snapped about some woman who unprovoked will sit there and snap and kill her dude.
90% of the stories on there is about women.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's mostly female. If you watch it, you start feeling some type of way. You like, y'all really got that like up in you? Like, you as a dude, you kind of scared, but. We haven't talked about it, and we haven't taken it seriously when a man is abused, because especially if that man is bigger than that woman, like physically bigger, you're like, there's no way that little girl can abuse that big dude.
How else can she abuse him if he ain't sitting there letting her hit him?
It's because
that don't even make sense.
It's because we have them. We've been trained that there's no reason for a man to put his hands on a woman, and because the worst thing that you can do is say that one person has a green light, and that person be emotionally unstable, and that person not be able to use their words properly to be able to diffuse a situation. You're setting them up for failure.
I want to challenge officers who answer to the call of domestic violence. To when a man says that she was hitting on me or she tried to stab me and stuff like that, I want you to make her leave. Sometimes make the woman leave. Sometimes take that into consideration, because there are stories where police have come to a household and then that same night he was shot, or that same night, like the next day he had an aneurysm because she was beating him in his head and he passed. Now you in jail for murder, for manslaughter too.
Watch Snap.
So I mean,
do I got time to tell a quick story? Once you're done?
When you answer those calls, make her leave. When you answer those calls, arrest her. When he's telling you that she's abusing him, arrest her. Lawyers, I definitely challenge you all to investigate and make sure that you throw the book at those females just like y'all do those men. And judges, start making an example out of these women who feel like it's okay to abuse men, because you're going to have young boys. First of all, we already have domestic violence among teenagers anyway.
Yep.
So whether it's girls or guys, listen, I go to the juvenile center often. I see too many young people in there locked up for domestic violence. Way too many young people, 13, 12. What do you know about putting your hands on your little boyfriend, girlfriend? First of all, you're not even old enough to be in a relationship. Your emotions ain't even developed enough yet for you to even make sound decisions concerning what outfit you're going to wear, let alone how you loving somebody and caring for somebody. So if adults have a hard time, women have a hard time maintaining their own emotions to where they can control their hands and themselves, then surely you don't want to be putting women back into homes where they have kids, to where this is the example that their sons and daughters are seeing, because ultimately their sons are going to grow up and be in relationships with women that are just like them, and they're going to teach their daughters that this is how they teach their sons, and that this is how they treat their men.
Yeah. If anybody that knows me knows that I grew up in a household full of women. My family is dominated by women. One of my aunties is on right now. And my aunties have the ability to shut me down anytime they feel like I'm getting a little bit too ahead of myself, because I love them so much. So I was raised as one of those boys who understood that you never put your hands on a woman. Even though, like, when I was younger, I fought girls, but I learned, okay, there's a certain age. After you get to that certain age where you're stronger, you never put your hands on a woman. So in my first marriage, there was a situation where we were into it about something. My son had fallen and hit his head on the concrete in our apartment, and I rushed down to take care of him, to hold him, find out what's going on with him. And my wife at the time was like, she was still mad at me about whatever we were beefing about, and she, bless you, she wouldn't give him to me, and I'm reaching out for him. He's reaching out for me, and she's pulling us away from one another. Has her arm over his mouth to where he can't breathe, and she knew that that's what she was doing, but she could care less about that, because she was more concerned with preventing me from being able to get to him to kind of get back at me or whatever. So we're sitting there, and I'm reaching for him. She's scratching my neck up and everything like that, and then she reaches up and punches me in my face. All her might, punches me in my face. I blacked out for about 5 seconds. I actually blacked out. And people who know me know that I'm in control of my actions. I don't do anything that is not physically intentional. So I don't have blackout spells or something like that. But she punched me on my face, blacked out for 5 seconds. When I came back to myself where I could see what's going on and understood what was going on, she was holding her face, and I just grabbed my son. Now, I wasn't cognizant of what I was doing at the time, right? But she was fully aware of what she was doing at the time. I wasn't physically accosting her. She accosted me. And the only reason why I didn't go to jail that day is because earlier on in the day, I was trying to fix her background and fix her stuff, and paid for a warrant that she had on her because she was driving on suspended license. And because the warrant hadn't fully gone through the system, or the fact that I paid the warrant hadn't fully gone through the system, they took her to jail instead of taking me to jail. That's the only reason why, because when the police showed up on the scene, the first thing they said, looking at her, looking at me, both of us bleeding and bloody, was, "Do you have some shoes?" They're talking to me. Do I have some shoes? Because I was getting ready to go to jail. And while I was explaining my case, because I begged for them to let me explain my case, they ran our backgrounds and found that I had nothing on my background and she had that. So that's the only reason why.
We only have about 10 minutes left in the show. You can call in, give you a comment, 317-886-0296. Again, that number is 317-886-0296. We're going to take a brief break real quick, and we'll be right back, and we're going to wrap up the show to give men some tips on maybe things he can do to protect himself and defend himself from women, and give women some tips on on their behavior in these relationships. When you are upset or mad or angry, then you need to learn how to control yourself, and you need to understand that it's not okay for you to put your hands on somebody and not expect for them to defend themselves.
All right. What's going on, people? Hey, Auntie. Listen, while we're on commercial break, if you got your phone by you, or if you're listening to this by phone, take about 3 minutes, 5 minutes, switch over to the JQLM radio app. I know you downloaded it, because everybody on my timeline,
app if you have an Apple.
Yeah, everybody on my timeline then download JQ. I already know that for a fact, so I'm not even going to ask y'all, because that's my assumption, because I know y'all love me. But download the JQLM radio app, or download the TuneIn app and search JQLM radio, and listen in to the commercial breaks. We got some sponsors that, hey, you might need some of their services, so go ahead and check them out. You can also listen through the if you just want to check out the music that we have, or maybe if you want to give some suggestions to the music that you want to hear, you can go on egoentertainmentnet.com and you can put those suggestions in there, and I'll get at you. I'll definitely make those things happen. Between me and Lady J, if you want to sponsor or become a sponsor of JQLM Radio, definitely you can go through the app, which you give a message and we'll get back to you then. If you feel froggy and you want to get behind this mic, go ahead and do that thing. Don't think that just because you're not in Indy that we can't make that happen. We can't facilitate that. We can. All right. Getting ready to come back in. I'm gonna give y'all some pearls of wisdom.
All right, and we are back. You are tuned in to Pillow Talk, and we've been talking about women abusers. When is it okay for a man to hit or retaliate against a woman? So we have established that anytime a woman is abusing a man, when she's punching him, kicking him, trying to stab him, doing the absolute most, he has every right to defend himself. He does not have to lay down and just let that woman abuse him, try to kill him, and everything else. We've also established that men have the right to call the police. They as well. Tell your side of the story. Also, if need be, take video. If y'all have cameras in the home, fine. Play that back for them or whatever the case may be. When you're dealing with a woman that maybe you left and she was abusing you, and you know how we get, busting out cars and car windows and flattening tires and putting sugars in the tank and setting your clothes on fire and sending you crazy text messages and emails and stuff. Save that stuff. Save that stuff. You listen, in the court of law, they have to go by evidence. Make sure there is no reasonable doubt at all. Okay?
Save the text messages.
And because women who are abusers can't control their emotions, trust me, there is a 99.99999% chance she's going to tell on herself in a text message, email, video, act, or something. Yes. Okay, 99.999%, and usually it's too late because the damage has already been done to the kids, to the man, or whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. So, I want men to understand that you have the right to call the police. Even if she calls the police, you call too. You call to plead your case. Yourself. Yeah, exactly. To protect yourself. She want to file a complaint, you file a complaint. Mm-hmm. And do it every single time. I get that you love her. Listen, I've been in domestic violence situations myself, relationships. I grew up in a domestic violence environment, and I didn't call the police. I should have. I called the police once, and I took myself down to in one of the relationships I was in, because he literally tried to kill me while I was pregnant. But stop being afraid, thinking that even if nobody listens to you, continue telling over and over again. Men, it does not make you weak. It does not make you a punk. What it does, it makes the woman weak. It makes her less than a mother or a good woman or things of that sort, for her to feel like it's okay for her to do that and then lie about it so that she can somehow get the upper hand. Oh, and trust and believe you me, life has a way of turning the table. So karma is a what. Yeah,
Lachelle says some of these ladies are professional fighters and will knock the wind out of you. Yes, they will. Some of them look, my Auntie Kathy, who's on here now, who's all nice and sweet and closer to seeing the Lord, so she all kind and lovey-dovey. Back in the day, Auntie Kathy had them heavy hands. Her hands was heavy back in the day. But listen, fellas, there's no difference between the mindset of a woman who abuses a man and a man who abuses a woman. It's about power. It's about lack of impulse control. So what you need to do is you need to protect yourself. How do you even figure out whether this person has issues with that? If this person can't control their anger in regular conversations, this is weeded out in the dating process. If they can't control their anger in normal conversations, then you need to probably check and see whether this person has a history of putting hands on someone. If this person has grown up in a household where that was acceptable and they haven't evolved, then you need to really be paying close attention, because it's not just good enough for you to be bigger than this person. You need to protect yourself. That's where we say calling the police isn't about trying to inflict punishment on that person. It's about protecting yourself.
And I don't need two women to understand why women talking about, well, he can just call the police. Listen, just like if a man is dragging a woman around the house by her hair, dragging her up and down the stairs and beating her and everything else, before he can get to a phone to call the police, he has to subdue her in some shape, form, or fashion so she can quit attacking him first. Right. So he has to protect himself
that conversation,
first.
Be like, 911, hey, 911, can you send somebody out to
let's be real. Also, women, because I hate that we always focus too on just the victims. Abusers have learned this in somewhere. Mm-hmm. Outside of those that have a chemical imbalance and are just crazy or have mental health issues, they have learned it from somewhere. Yep. Abusers, get help. Get help. Stop getting in relationships with people when you know you can't control your anger. Now, I, for one, used to have a serious temper issue. I still have a temper issue, but I've never put my hands on somebody just because I didn't like what he said. Even when somebody cheated on me or whatever the case may be, I still didn't put my hands on them. But I did put my hands on a man if he hit me. You hit me, and I'm going to hit you back. Yeah. I've never been the type of woman that cowers and scared. No, bro, I'm about to fight you just like you off the street. Yeah. And when you put your hands on me, that's the only time that I have ever put my hands on a man. So
that's what has to be fellas, acceptable.
I need you to seek help too. Once you have been abused, I want you to seek help and understand that it's not your fault. Same as we tell women, it is not your fault. You have no control over her actions and emotions and things of that sort. If you have maybe cheated and she slaps you or something, some men will take that. But even if that's something that bothers you, okay, you own up to your part in that, but you still, because you did not physically harm her or put your hands on her, she still had no right to put her hands on you.
Right. Fellas, you can take a smack. You know what I'm saying? Not too many. Not like left hand and right hand.
I have been in a situation and situations where I've wanted to smack. I mean, even here recently. I mean, listen, Mark has seen me get angry. I have to walk away for a while. When I feel my temper rising, I have learned how to contain myself so much so. And then people don't understand that the grace that is really being extended to them when I do that, regardless of who it is.
I got people I can call
if
it get domestic.
But ladies, get some help. Learn how to control your temper.
Yeah. Seriously, we have to definitely, ladies, if you have given yourself the pass that because I get angry, then sometimes things happen when I get angry. You are the problem. What you've done is, if you were a male, you would be in jail already, and you would hate yourself. You would be speaking against yourself. Don't do it.
So, I want to thank y'all for tuning in to Pillow Talk tonight. I don't know. This was a really good conversation.
It was.
Really good conversation. Tune in every Thursday from 8 to 9. We'll let you know on the days we'll be on from 8:30 to 9:30. There may be some days like that, but tune in. JQLM Radio 24/7. We're on music for everyone. We support all local artists, businesses, things of that sort. Y'all tune in. Download the app. Support as we support y'all. This is the show to know,
to show,
and to grow. Love and relationships. And we out.
Alrighty. Hey, I appreciate y'all for rocking with us today. Very serious topic, very heavy. Talking about domestic, the other side of domestic violence. You're right, Auntie. It's not right. The mindset, and like I said, there's a disconnect. Like older generation, like you all taught us that men should definitely show restraint. Our job is to protect y'all. Our job isn't to physically dominate you all. That's not why God made our bones bigger. That's not why he made our muscles more dense. The reason why he did all that is to give us the ability to protect our households, to protect our children, to protect our women. And not just our women, like the women that we either are married to or that we go to bed with. It's to protect women, period. Like if you walking down the street and you see a dude sitting there putting them hammers on a girl, and your first instinct is to pull your phone out, you weak. You weaker than water. And something's wrong with you. You need to check your man card, because obviously you don't have it with you. That ain't no man stuff right there. That's some gay stuff, and not gay as in homosexual, because gay dudes will put the paws on you too. I'm talking about gay as in feminine acting. You know what I'm saying? But the mindset that a man can't be abused, it's an old mindset. It's not new. It's an old mindset. It's just lack of understanding. And you get some women who will pile on, who will never put their hands on a guy. They'll never have it in their mind to put their hands on a guy, but they'll pile on because there's such a blowback from the age where men would disrespect women or beat women or whatever, that a woman saying, hey, well, it can't be all that bad if I'm abusing the group that abused me or abused my group, right? But just like when we're fighting for civil rights, if we're fighting for equality, we can't be fighting for supremacy. That's why I don't rock with some dudes that's calls himself woke and everything like that. I don't want to be superior as a group to another group because I'm based on my race. You know what I'm saying? I want to be equal. I want to have the same opportunities. I want to be afforded the same opportunities that you have. And if we all treat each other equally, if we all receive the same penalties for wrongs that we do, if we all are given the same opportunities, then there'll be no reason to feel slighted in any way. And when we come talking about domestic relationships, I can't say that just because I'm a woman, I can't abuse a man. That makes no sense, because you definitely can't. Women can abuse
you can
men.
Abuse them when they boys, and you can definitely abuse them when they men.
Women can abuse men in a worse way than men can abuse women, because you all are so in tuned emotionally that you all can break us down emotionally. You know what I'm saying? And say certain words that get to us in a certain way that'll have us hurting for years. You know what I'm saying? And certain things that attack our manhood, attack our strength, and you do that, and then, you know, we respond. If another guy did that, we responded physically. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's, hey, Auntie Kathy said, Grandma Geraldine, you're going to hear me talk a lot about Grandpa Berkeley and Grandma Geraldine. Grandma said, you know, don't put your hands on a man if you don't want to get hit back. That's how my grandma was. You know what I'm saying? She, sweetest, kindest woman in the world, but common sense was preached in our family. Common sense was preached in our household. We're not telling you don't put your hands on a man ever, because sometimes if a dude's trying to grab you up, choke you up, you better put them paws on them, and you better hope your hands heavy like my Auntie Kathy's was. But if not, you know, do what you got to do in order to get safe. But as a course of action, because you're upset or because they said something to tick you off, do not put your hands on a man, because you stand more of a chance of losing that fight. And at the end of the day, why would you want to be with somebody that you have to physically accost, that you have to physically beat? That's the only recourse that you have. Why would you want to be like? Would you want to go to the store with somebody that you're gonna have to fight? No. Do you want to have a child with somebody that y'all fight? No. Like if you take emotion out of it and relationship out of it and romance out of it, you're not going to want to kick it with somebody that you fight all the time. So why would you want to be in a relationship with somebody that you fight all the time? Don't make sense, right? We have to teach our young girls that, yes, the rules that you apply to gentlemen do not apply to all boys, right? Because all boys are not gentlemen. That I hope we didn't cover gentlemen and what gentlemen are and why gentlemen are so rare and stuff like that. We can cover that. We'll cover it another time. But just understand that the rules that you have, talking about men aren't supposed to hit girls and this, that, and the other, those rules apply to gentlemen. They don't apply to every man. Okay? So if you understand that if you smack a dude or you hit a dude, chances are you probably gonna get hit back. There's a great chance of you getting hit back. So don't do it. Unless you're defending yourself, don't do it. All right, we got to teach our little girls, use their words. You know what I'm saying? The type of female that dudes will find themselves constantly getting into fights with are hood chicks. Hood chicks because either they say something to trigger you because they expect that response, or because they're going to hit you because they don't know how to use their words as well as you do. You know what I'm saying? And if you're somebody who uses your words and you can cut somebody down or build them up with your words, or explain yourself very well with your words, and you with somebody who can't, if they can't communicate, then, and they're a fighter, they're used to fighting, and fighting has been part of it, yeah, you're probably going to be in some domestic situations with this person. So, and it takes time for young girls who have been taught that hood logic, that, you know what, I can't stand this, I'm gonna put my hands on them, to grow out of it. There's a lot of girls that I grew up with who, look, they was known for scrapping. They was known for getting it in, and now they're more ladylike because they had to grow out of that, and they had to realize that's not something that's going to benefit me. Maybe it happened when they had kids and they didn't want their sons to see their mothers, that see them fighting all the time and using their hands and stuff like that, because that's not a dynamic that you're supposed to have in a household or whatever. But they eventually learned that, okay, I can't be putting my hands on this dude and expect my sons to respect that. Okay, so all right, if you have any other statements or questions, go back to the post that I posted. I posted a couple days ago, and it's real simple. When is it acceptable for a man to put his hands on a woman? That might be mine. That might be mine. But go on there and drop a comment and stuff like that, because listen, a lot of females are like, I don't care what happens, a dude should never put his hands on a female. I'm like, what?
Well, crap, I teach my son the very opposite.
Listen. These Brooks boys, don't run up on them. Is all I got to say. Don't tell your daughters, don't run up on them. You know what I'm saying? And the baby girl, sweet as pie. But I'm teaching her how to throw them things, how to throw them bows. So don't run up on her neither. And maybe they will be able to call her to handle some of these lightweight females trying to fight and stuff like that. Her brothers, but we got to teach our little girls that they don't get.
Keep their hands to themselves.
Yeah, we got to teach our little girls that they don't get a pass. That there's no excuse for them to lose that. Just because they lose their temper doesn't mean that they get to put their hands on the board.
I let my son see my daughters back when they keep on.
Yeah, it's like that, especially nowadays. Because if you don't teach your sons that, then you're setting them up for failure. And if they get killed or stabbed or something, that price is on your head. You know what I'm saying? Whether you mother or the father, that price is on your head. All right. Appreciate y'all for rocking with me. Definitely tune in to JQLM Radio. Not just when we talking, man. We got music on there that you're gonna enjoy. I got this mix that I'm working on. This '90s R&B mix. Y'all know we had the best era of music. You know it, right? Like nowadays, the music, you can't even understand what they're talking about. But I got the '90s era R&B mix. I got a '90s era hip hop mix that I'm working on. If y'all got some suggestions of stuff y'all want to hear, go to the egoentertainmentnet.com and you can go ahead and shoot an email. We'll get it in there. If you got songs that you want to request that take you back to, you know, when you was young and spry and doing your thing out there, go ahead and shoot that through. All right. I'm going to get out of here. Get something to eat 'cause I'm hungry. All right. Love y'all. Be good. Ladies don't swing. Queens don't swing unless they got to. All right. Love y'all. Peace and hair grease.
Oh, that looks good with the banner right behind.